ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم وأشهد أن حبيبنا وسيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله تعالى بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على هذا النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters, we start by praising Allah. We praise Him for all of the blessings, all of the gifts, all of the treasures, for health, for wealth, for Iman, first and foremost. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His peace and blessings upon the beloved, on Sayyiduna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Dear brothers and sisters, if you lose anything in this world, you can reclaim it in some sense, in some fashion. Money, if you lose it, can be earned once again. You can work hard and make it up. Even family, of course, you can never replace individuals. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has endowed each one of us with special qualities, special characteristics, but if you lose a husband, a wife, children, you can marry again, you can have more children. Even parental figures. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he never met his father, he lost his mother, he lost his grandfather, but he always had someone to care for him. Even when he was young, he still had someone there. And in many other aspects of life. But there's one thing without exception that cannot be reclaimed, that cannot be gotten back, and that is what we call time. Time is the one thing in this world which we don't have any control over, and if it passes us by, there's no way to regain it, right? And that's why they say the most valuable commodity that we own is time. And I want to talk about this concept today, and I want to start off by mentioning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His book, He swears by many things. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by something, makes qasam, it signifies the importance of that particular creation that is being pointed out, and He wants us to pay attention and focus on that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He swears upon probably more than anything else in the Quran, very much, and if not the most single thing, on the issue of time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ, swearing by time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى, swearing by the night, swearing by the day. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ, swearing by the morning time. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, and on and on and on. Different aspects of time, different points in time, different parts. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing to us that time is of the utmost significance. Our time is our capital. It's what we have to be able to build upon and to leave a legacy in this world. And we will all be asked about what we did with our time on this earth. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said in the hadith that's related by Imam al-Tirmidhi, لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن أربع. That the the 2 feet of the servant of Allah, they will not cease to exist. The human being will not cease to exist. And the day of judgment will come, and we will be asked about 4 things. 4 things that we will be asked about. عن عمره فيما أفناه. About our lifespan and what did we do with it. About our lifetime of seconds and minutes and hours and days and weeks and months. All of that time that comprised our life will be asked about every single moment. وَعَنْ شَبَابِهِ فِيمَا أَبْلَاهُ. And specifically about the young period of our life, when we had the most energy. And shabab in Arabic language is understood to be all the way up to the age of 40. Right? In other words, when you were most vital, when you had the most energy and health and activity and so forth, that particular time will be asked about, will be taken account of. وَعَنْ مَالِهِ مِنْ أَيْنَ اكْتَسَبَهُ وَفِيمَا أَنْفَقَهُ. And about our wealth, where did we earn it and where did we spend it? All right. And the last thing, وَعَنْ عِلْمِهِ مَاذَا عَمِلَ بِهِ. And about our knowledge, what did we do with it? So those 4 things that Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned, but he started with the emphasis on time. All of those different things are extremely important, but number 1, what did we do with those periods of time in our life? Brothers and sisters, there's some special qualities about time that need to be reflected upon. There are some special things about it that we need to spend a little time reflecting upon. Number 1, time flies. As they say, al-waqtu yatir. The time flies. And probably that saying probably exists in every language in some sense. No matter how long somebody spends in this life, it's a short period of time. That's how it appears to us. If each one of us sits right now and reflects upon our life, what do we remember about our life? We have a couple of images about when we were a child. We have a few memories about when we were teenagers. And sometimes, subhanAllah, I experienced this. I don't know if you all experience it as well. Sometimes I don't even know if my memories are memories, but they're just pictures that I have at home, and I'm not even sure if they're, I remember the actual images or I'm remembering the physical images in front of me. Right? So you have those few moments, fleeting moments. You remember maybe the day you got married. You remember maybe the day you had your children were born, other special events. But if any of us is to ask each other, what did we do yesterday? SubhanAllah, you all know this feeling. Can barely even remember. Yesterday was 24 hours, but to even capture 1 or 2 minutes from yesterday is difficult. That's the nature of time. It all becomes a blur at some point. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, كَأَنَّهُمْ يَوْمَ يَرَوْنَهَا لَمْ يَلْبَثُوا إِلَّا عَشِيَّةً أَوْ ضُحَاهَا. That it is as if it was just a day. They will see and they will feel that they only spent just a portion of the day in this life. When we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we try to recall our life, we see it as only just a fleeting, passing moment in time. Right? We're not able to capture it. It's narrated that Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, Shaykh al-Mursaleen, Sayyidina Nuh, who was known, or at least as mentioned in the Quran, to have lived longer than any other individual, right? Almost 1,000 years. Imagine somebody on this earth for 1,000 years. The angel of death, it's narrated, that came to Sayyidina Nuh and asked him, they said, the angel of death said to him, Ya atwal al-anbiya umra, O prophet that lived longer than anybody else. He's addressing him that way, right? Oh prophet, you in particular, you lived longer than anybody else in this world. كيف وجدت الدنيا? How did you find the world? He's about to take his soul, and he's asking what, these 950 years you lived, what did you see? What did you find? What is the answer of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam? He says, دخلت من أحد, he says, كدار لها بابان. He says, as if it's a house that had two doors. دخلت من أحدهما وخرجت من الآخر. SubhanAllah, he says, it's as if it was a house that there was two doors. I entered in one and then I came out the other. I just walked through it, and that was on this planet for almost a millennium, and it's gone. SubhanAllah, what a profound expression of the reality of time. That's Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. The second quality of time is that when time goes, as we mentioned earlier, it never comes back. This 2-3 second pause that I took between the last sentence I said and this sentence is gone. And every moment is like that. The great scholar Al-Hasan Al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, one of the great scholars of the Tabi'een, he said that every day the day calls out and says, يَا ابْنَ آدَمْ أَنَا خَلْقٌ جَدِيدٌ وَعَلَى عَمَلِكَ شَهِيدٌ. He says that the day calls out and says that, O son of Adam, O sons and daughters of Adam, I am a new creation and I am a witness upon your deeds. فَتَزَوَّدْ مِنِّي. So take the most that you can take out of me. Extract the most that you can take out of me. Do as much good as you can do in this short time, because it's going to bear witness over you. And he says that the day says, because when I'm done, the day is talking, I will not come back until the day of judgment. The day, every day as it passes, doesn't come back to us until the day of judgment. And then it comes back to us as either a witness for us or a witness against us, based upon how we live. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. And then the third quality of time is the most precious thing that we own. It is our most valuable commodity, as we said. The most, without doubt. It's not money, it's not our homes, it's not. This is what's going to speak for us in the next life. This is our currency, what we did with this time. It is our potential, right? It is our potential to be a great human being in this life, in the sight of Allah, and that's what we're most concerned with. And it is our potential to be in the ranks of the righteous in the next life. And those the levels in Jannah are many. And we want to achieve the highest. And that's the higher you go is based upon the more that you did with this time. And people say that time is money, or they say that time is gold. The great Mujaddid Al-Imam Hassan al-Banna, he said something much more profound than that. He said, Al-waqtu huwa al-hayat. Huwa al-hayat. He says that time is life itself. Time is not money. Time is life itself. You can't put a value on it. In a commercial, capital, materialistic world, they want to attach a dollar sign to it. But for us, it's much, much more than that. Right? Our understanding is much deeper than that. Al-Hasan Al-Basri, again, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said that, and he's making a call to all of us, Ya ibn Adam, O sons and daughters of Adam. He says, إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ أَيَّامٌ مَجْمُوعَةٌ. He says, you are nothing but days collected together. Us as individuals, we are human beings, we're just days compiled into one another. كُلَّمَا ذَهَبَ يَوْمٌ ذَهَبَ بَعْضُكَ. SubhanAllah, what a profound saying. He says, every time a day passes, part of you goes. Every time a day passes, part of you is gone as a human being. Right? The Quran mentions that there is a consequence for those who are neglectful in the way in which they spend their time, and that they will be regretful about having not spent it appropriately and properly. And one picture, and this is mentioned in many different places in many different ways. One of the places is mentioned in Surah Al-Munafiqun towards the end of the surah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَنفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. And spend from that which we have provided you before death comes to one of you. فَيَقُولَ رَبِّ لَوْلَا أَخَّرْتَنِي إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ قَرِيبٍ. And the person will say upon his deathbed or at the moment of death, "O Allah, O my Lord, if you were just to extend my life to a short time beyond now, إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ قَرِيبٍ فَأَصَّدَّقَ وَأَكُمْ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ." And I would give in charity, and I would spend, and I would do good so that I could be from the righteous people. Because on that moment, the realization comes. Now it's over. My time for doing good is no more. The time is gone. And there's no more opportunity. So we need to keep that state of consciousness all the time, before the time comes when it is too late, when it actually is too late, and we don't have the opportunity to do more and put more in our account the way we would like to. So the time is now, right? We change our life today. In Western culture, this concept of New Year's resolutions, which is a fine thing, which is an okay thing. When a new period of time comes, you make a renewed intention to do some, action that's going to benefit you, and that's fine. But we should have that as a daily resolve, right? As a daily reminder. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to make dua every day. Allahumma inni as'aluka khayra hadha al-yawm. That the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Oh Allah, I ask you for the best of this day." So he started with that mindset, his perspective on what's going to happen from that, from the morning onwards. He started with that consciousness that he wants the best of this day so that later on it will speak good for him, right? Time is this gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not something that you kill. What do we say? We say, "Oh, I need to go kill some time." In Desi culture, they say we have to go do some time pass, right? To do some time. Time is not something that you kill. Time is what kills you. Right? The Arabs, they have a nice saying. One of the righteous, they said something nice. They said, "Al-waqtu kas-sayf." Time is like a sword. "Illam taqta'hu yaqta'uk." Right? If you don't cut it, it will cut you. In other words, take control of your life. Know what you're doing. Be conscious, and don't just let it pass by. Right? So time is not something that we kill or let it go by, but it's something that we need to consciously take control of. And subhanAllah, that's so true in this day and age, right? When we get distracted by the gadgets that are around us, primarily our cell phone and everything that it does. And sometimes you'll be looking at whatever it is, the news, Facebook, emails, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. And you look at it and you wanted to spend 1 minute, but then you look up at the clock and 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 2 hours have gone, right? Because you're just unconscious of time. And this is a reminder for old and young that don't get lost in this world. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours a day is a standard. It's not the exception, it's the standard for most young people today, and even those that are older in age, right? And because time, if you don't control it and you don't make it your friend, it becomes your enemy. There's a nice saying in Arabic, they say, "Al-waqtu la yaqifu muhayidan," that time doesn't stand neutral, right? It's not that it doesn't take sides, no, it takes sides. فَإِمَّا صَدِيقٍ وَدُودٍ أَوْ عَدُوٍ لَدُودٍ. That time is either a dear friend or it is a staunch enemy, right? And that's the reality. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be ever conscious of that and to make best use of our time in all that we do. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ادعوا الله وأنتم مؤمنون بالإجابة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الخلق وسيد المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So make time your best friend. Make time your best friend. Use it wisely. Take care of it. Be conscious of it. When you love something, when you care for something, you pay attention to it. But when you don't care about something, you neglect it. So that's a sign for us, how we conduct our affairs, how we live our life. Are we careful, or does it just go and we don't really pay attention? That will tell you a lot about yourself and your relationship with this reality. Time will visit you once again when you meet Allah. It doesn't come back to us in this life, but it will come back to us when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make sure you treat it well. Right? Make sure you treat it well. Because you don't want to wait when it's too late. And you don't want to be the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَن يُؤَخِّرَ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا وَاللَّهُ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. This is after the ayah that we mentioned earlier, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is not going to delay anyone for the time that they want to stay on this earth. The time is already determined. It's already written. We don't have control of it. We don't, you have control of the time you have with you right now in the present, but tomorrow is not guaranteed. The next minute's not guaranteed. So make sure you do your utmost at this point in this time. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who are conscious of our obligations and our duties with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and fulfill those duties and obligations in the best way. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us those who are conscious of time, and those who benefit from our time, and those who put forth the best with our time, so that when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will be pleased with us. اللهم إني داع فقولوا آمين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، وأقم الصلاة.